doesn't like watching a good horror movie with terrifying monsters on the weekend night? But are you tired of the same green skin, big-eyed monsters and predictable jump scares? Well, don't worry, we've got you covered. We have curated a list of 20 must-see movies that will keep you hooked and have unforgettable monsters. From giant apes to deceiving aliens, these films have everything you could ever ask for. Before we begin with today's video, please click on the like and subscribe buttons and show your support for our channel. Now, get ready to plan your weekend with these picks. King Kong, 1933. Released in 1933, the giant gorilla made a groundbreaking appearance in the American movie King Kong. The movie made history, becoming one of the most popular motion pictures ever. Carl Denham, a visionary film director, arranges an expedition to the unfamiliar and isolated Skull Island to shoot his latest movie. Things take a dramatic turn when the female protagonist of Denham's film, Anne Darrow, gets kidnapped. The local natives plan to sacrifice her to their god. Jack Driscoll, the ship's first mate, loves Anne. He sets into the jungle in search of Anne, along with others. Anne is offered to Kong, who is a giant gorilla. Although Jack and his companions battle living dinosaurs like a brontosaurus, Kong kills everyone except Jack and Carl. The fight between the humongous ape and a tyrannosaurus is worth watching. Carl Denham uses a gas bomb to knock out the giant. Saving Anne is not his only motive behind that brave action. A selfish scheme sizzles in his cunning mind. Denham takes Kong to New York City with them to fill his pockets with the eighth wonder of the world. In the following events, Anne and Jack get engaged. They are present at Kong's first public appearance in a Manhattan theater packed with journalists, an enthusiastic public, and every intrigued mind. The flashes of the cameras enrage the confused Kong. The ape thinks the people are attacking Anne, and he tears his restraints off. Kong kidnaps Anne again and climbs the Empire State Building. After Kong sets Anne down at the top of the building, the army attacks him. With one last longing and admiring gaze at Anne, Kong finally surrenders to his wounds, falls off the skyscraper, and meets his death. The movie is worth watching for its jaw-dropping special effects in the pre-digital age and a plotline where beauty is the reason for the beast's death. Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954. The Creature from the Black Lagoon is a black and white 3D monster horror film released in 1954. During a geology expedition in the Amazon, the members discover fossilized evidence from the Devonian period. A Piscean amphibious humanoid is a living member of the species, the same as the fossil. The creature appears in the camp and kills the people present there. Lucas is the captain of the ship that carries the expedition group. The scientist decides to explore a lagoon that Lucas has named Black Lagoon. The creature, Gillman, notices one of the group's female members, Kay Lawrence, and follows the group's ship. The Gillman takes many lives and tries to kidnap Kay. When the ship attempts to leave, the creature blocks its way with heavy logs. The film ends with the creature's death and her companions save Kay. The classic film from America's magical film era then made it to sequels and reboot versions. Godzilla, 1954. It would be a crime not to include the film that made these extinct prehistoric creatures a global sensation in this list. Released in 1954 in Japan, the giant creatures soon made their way to American theaters in 1956 under Terry Morse's direction. In the waters near Odo Island, Japan, mysterious deaths create worry and fear. The old folklore, forgotten in time, rises again, sparking a debate. Godzilla, a kaiju, comes to feed on humans from the ocean. A violent storm destroys most of the village on a stormy night. Soon, it is revealed that the storm is a gigantic creature crushing the town. An expedition discovers a giant footprint contaminated with radioactivity. It also discovers trilobites, an extinct marine arthropod. Soon, Godzilla manifests itself in front of the world. One of the members of the expedition suggests that the repeated hydrogen bomb testing in the South Pacific destroy the ancient creature's underwater habitat, pushing it to leave its home. Godzilla unleashes havoc on the island, destroying everything in its vicinity. Serizawa invents an oxygen destroyer that can potentially kill Godzilla. Despite initial hesitation, Serizawa decides to use the research to save hundreds of innocent lives. While Serizawa destroys Godzilla using an oxygen destroyer, he sacrifices himself to end the knowledge of making a destructive weapon like an oxygen destroyer with him. The movie became so popular that it was released and remade in multiple languages across the globe. The Blob, 1958. The sci-fi horror film The Blob was released in 1958. The film's sequel was released in 1972, Beware, The Blob. Blob is a gelatinous red amoeba kind of space alien, the prime antagonist in both films. It feeds on living things, including humans, and grows in size. A small meteorite lands on the Earth. After hatching, the meteorite reveals a blob. It attacks its first victim, an old man, dissolving him. The blob is unaffected by trichloroacetic acid and cannot be killed with a gun. The blob consumes many people from different places and grows humongous and red. It is also unaffected by fire. However, Steve notices the blob's apprehension about entering the freezer. After Steve informs this weakness of the predatory alien, all the townspeople gather their CO2 extinguishers. They use them as explosives and freeze the blob into a solid. An Air Force jet then takes this frozen alien to the Arctic, where it is dumped on the ice. Here's a fun trivia fact about the slimy monster. The slimy monster from The Blob that ate everyone. Blob inspired a Goosebumps book. Alien, 1979. Alien was released in 1979 with its chilling tagline, "In space, no one can hear you scream." A commercial vessel, the USCSS Nostromo, carries millions of tons of mineral ore when it notices a peculiar transmission from a nearby moon. The 7-member crew lands on the moon to find the source of that signal. The team discovers a large chamber filled with several eggs. One of these eggs hatches, and a creature emerges and attaches itself to Kane's face. The creature's blood is a highly corrosive molecular acid. It finally voluntarily detaches itself from Kane's face and dies. The ship begins its journey to Earth, and Kane seems fine, but then he starts choking. An alien creature erupts out of his chest and kills Kane. The creature starts killing the crew members individually, leaving Ripley in command. A shocking discovery leaves Ripley stunned. Their employers knew about this alien and tasked another crew member, Ash, to get that alien to them. They do not care about the crew's lives. The rest of the film shows the crew's struggle to save their lives. Will they make it? Will they kill the alien? Will they land safely back on Earth? To find the answers to these questions, you gotta watch the film. The Thing, 1982. This American sci-fi horror film directed by John Carpenter is based on John W. Campbell Jr.'s novel, Who Goes There? An American team finds a Norwegian base in Antarctica. They find burnt ruins and frozen dead bodies at the base, along with the charred corpse of a deformed humanoid. They bring this creature back to their American station, where the biologists run autopsies and other research. The study reveals an organism that can emulate other living things. The records found at the Norwegian base direct the team to an extensive excavation site. They find a partially buried alien spacecraft. Macready notes that each part of the thing is a separate life form that has a survival instinct. The rest of the team decides to test Blair, but finds he has escaped. Blair uses vehicle components to make a small flying saucer to destroy the thing. Knowles, Gary, and Macready set explosives at the station to destroy it. Macready destroys the station as the Blair thing shifts into a giant creature. The film is considered one of the best sci-fi horror films ever made. Gremlins, 1984. In this list of mostly horror films, Gremlin is a slight exception with a touch of comedy. Warner Brothers Pictures released the film in 1984. Randall Peltzer, an inventor, travels to Chinatown, where he finds a small and furry creature, Mogwai, in one of the shops. The seller's grandson sells Mogwai to Randall, but with 3 important instructions. Mogwai should not be exposed to light, especially sunlight, to avoid its death. The creature should not touch water. The last, but very important instruction is that Mogwai should never be fed past midnight. Randall gifts the creature, Gizmo, to his son. Billy's friend mistakenly spills some water on Gizmo, which causes it to go into convulsions. The creature multiplies and creates 5 new Mogwai. Billy names one of them Stripe, with a white mohawk hairstyle. The newly formed Mogwai cheat and compel Billy to feed them after midnight. However, Gizmo refuses to eat. All 5 Mogwai create cocoons around them, which then hatch, and transformed Mogwai come out. These gremlins have claws, dark green scaly skin, red eyes, and fangs, and they are highly reckless. Stripe jumps into a swimming pool and multiplies rapidly. Stripe and the other gremlins attack the town and harass Kate, Billy's crush. Kate discovers that the gremlins are vulnerable to light. The gremlins have gathered in the theater to watch Snow White and the 7 Dwarves. Billy explodes the entire theater and kills all the gremlins, yet Stripe escapes. When Stripe plans to multiply near the fountain, Gizmo opens the window and exposes it to sunlight. The shop owner comes and collects Gizmo for everyone's safety. The Fly, 1986. The Fly, released in 1986, is a remake of the same name movie released in 1958. A clever scientist, Seth Brundle meets a journalist, Veronica, at an event. Seth shows Veronica a set of telepods that can teleport an object from one pod to another. However, these telepods cannot do the same thing with living beings. While romance sparks between Seth and Veronica, Seth reprograms the computer to work with living flesh. Seth wants to celebrate his success with Veronica, but she's absent. Blinded by jealousy and unfaith, Seth decides to teleport himself as revenge for Veronica's assumed infidelity, but a housefly enters into the pod unbeknownst to Seth. After a successful teleportation, Seth experiences enhanced strength, sexual potency, and stamina, but he also becomes violent and arrogant. He soon realizes that his fingernails start falling off. After investigating the matter, he finds that the computer has merged Seth with the fly at the genetic and molecular level. Brundle soon develops all the fly-like characteristics both externally and inwardly. When Veronica becomes pregnant, things take a dramatic turn. Seth wants the child to use its DNA as a cure for his condition, while Veronica wants to abort the child, afraid it would be a mutant. When Veronica's ex-boyfriend, Stathis, tries to save her, Brundle dissolves his hand and foot, vomiting his corrosive enzyme. Yet Stathis saves Veronica before Brundle can merge her himself and their unborn child using the telepods. The fusion process is already activated, and Brundle is fused with the pod's metal. In the end, Veronica fulfills Brundle's request and ends his suffering by killing him. Little Shop of Horrors, 1986. This 1986 sci-fi musical horror comedy film centers around a unique creature, a monstrous plant that can speak. Seymour brings a unique plant from the Chinese flower shop to prevent the shop from shutting down. The plant attracts customers, and the business rejuvenates. However, the plant begins dying. Seymour accidentally finds that the mysterious plant needs human blood for its survival. Seymour's popularity grows because of the plant. When the plant demands more blood and suggests killing someone, Seymour has a target: Audrey's sadist boyfriend, Oren. Seymour chops Oren's body to feed the plant, but Mushnik witnesses it, but the plant swallows Mushnik. While Seymour is gone to get meat for the plant, Audrey receives a call from the plant, which lures her to the shop. The plant tries to eat Audrey, but Seymour saves her, and they escape. Seymour realizes the need to kill the plant, which is an alien, to save the world. Predator, 1987. This sci-fi action film released in 1987 tells the story of an elite mercenaries team that is on a mission to save hostages from the clutches of a guerrilla group in Guatemala. But when the team reaches Guatemala, they become the target of an alien that likes to kill for sport. While searching for the hostages, the team led by Dutch finds the dead bodies of 3 men from the Army Special Forces, skinned, hanging from the trees. Dutch then discovers that the rebels have already executed the hostages. While Dutch and the team aim to kill the insurgents, they soon realize they are being hunted by an alien protected by advanced active camouflage. The alien is also covered in wet mud, saving it from getting noticed with its infrared heat signature. After losing his team members, Dutch confronts the alien and manages to kill it in an impressive show of bravery. The movie is then developed into video games, toys, and books, and has 3 sequels. Hellraiser, 1987. The first film from the franchise, Hellraiser, is a British horror film released in 1987. The film is based on Clive Barker's novel of the Hellbound Heart. Frank Cotton buys an antique puzzle box in Morocco and solves it. The light shoots out of the box along with hooks. These hooks tear Frank apart. A tall figure appears and closes the box. The light vanishes with Frank's remains. Frank's brother Larry cuts his finger accidentally, and the blood drops spill on the attic's floor and get absorbed by something beneath the floorboards. Frank comes back to life in a skinless form. He asks Julia for more blood, so he can attain a better form. Behind Larry and Frank's daughter Kirsty's back, Julia agrees to help Frank, given her romantic feelings toward him. After exploiting his second prey, Frank reveals to Julia the Cenobites that caused his condition. Kirsty soon discovers Frank and the puzzle box. She accidentally opens it, and the Cenobites arrive to take her into their world, but she offers her father in exchange for her life. While Frank tries to kill Kirsty after killing Julia, the Cenobites tear him apart. Kirsty throws the puzzle box into the fire to send the Cenobites to hell. However, the same tall figure from the beginning arrives and takes back the puzzle box. Killer Klowns from Outer Space, 1988. This 1988 sci-fi horror comedy film is about aliens resembling clowns. They invade a town to capture, kill, and harvest humans. A strange glowing object lands outside the town of Crescent Cove. Clown-like aliens, Klowns, emerge from that object and begin their hunt. They begin to capture people in the cocoon using toy-like guns. Mike and the police try to save the townspeople from the clowns using different methods. The clown's leader, Jojo the Clownzilla, attacks them. The movie is a fun ride of how the people of the town are saved and the clowns are destroyed. When the standard aliens look creepy, disgusting, and hideous, these clown aliens surely surprise you. Tremors, 1990. Tremors is a monster horror comedy film released in 1990. The film is about two handymen, Valentine, alias Val McKee, and Earl Bassett. They live in an isolated settlement in the deserts of Nevada. Val and Earl leave their town to go to the nearest town, Bixby. They encounter various deaths. They see a snake-like creature and warn the townspeople, but all means of communication are dead, and a large rock blocks the only exit from the town. Earl and Val ride on the horses to Bixby to get help. The snake-like creatures they have encountered before is one of the tentacled tongues of the larger worm-like monster. The film shows how Val and Earl kill these worm-like creatures and save their town. Pan's Labyrinth, 2006. Pan's Labyrinth is a Spanish-Mexican dark fantasy film released in 2006. The film's story intertwines the real world of 1944 Spain's Francois period with a mythical world. After Prince Moana, daughter of the underworld's king, dies, the king builds many labyrinths around the world, portals for her spirit to return home. Ophelia arrives at her new stepfather's home along with her pregnant mother. Ophelia stumbles into an ancient and abandoned stone labyrinth and meets a faun. This faun believes Ophelia is Princess Moana's incarnation and gives her a book to complete 3 tasks and gain immortality so she can return to the underworld. The 3 tasks involve tackling monsters like a pale man, a monster that eats children, and a giant toad. Ophelia completes these tasks with bravery and determination. For the 3rd task, Ophelia needs the blood of an innocent, and she tries to use her newborn baby brother. However, after getting shot by her stepfather, drops of her blood fall onto an altar, and Ophelia finally finds herself in the underworld, her home. The film's unique storyline and visuals received widespread accolades, making it one of the greatest films of the 2000s. The Host, 2006. The Host is a 2006 release from South Korea. This horror drama begins in late 2000 when an American military pathologist orders his Korean assistant to dump more than 200 bottles of formaldehyde into a drain that opens into the Han River. Sightings of a strange creature are reported frequently before the beast rises out of the water and attacks a large crowd, killing many. The beast takes Gandu's daughter with it to its hideout. Gandu escapes the quarantine with his family to find his daughter after knowing she is trapped in a sewer somewhere. Gangdu loses his father in an attack by the creature and gets separated from his family because of the military. The rest of the film shows how Gangdu and his family rescue his daughter and kill the beast. Cloverfield, 2008. The film is shown as footage from a private video camera that the US Department of Defense recovers. Rob and Beth are planning to go to Coney Island in April. The footage then shows a day in May when Jason, Rob's brother, and his girlfriend Lily are throwing a farewell party for Rob since he is moving to Japan. The same day, the power goes out after an earthquake. The group leaves after the party, and the footage shows a giant creature that caused the fall of the Woolworth building. A massive tail then destroys the Brooklyn Bridge and kills Jason. Smaller parasitic creatures emerge from the creature's body and start attacking people. The military announces the execution of the Hammer Down Protocol, in which they plan to destroy. While Lily escapes in an army helicopter, Beth, Hud, and Rob take the next one. However, the creature attacks their helicopter, and now they are stranded in the city with only 15 minutes left for the Hammer Down Protocol. The monster kills Hud. Tragically, Rob and Beth too die when the army destroys the city. Signs, 2002. This 2002 released sci-fi horror thriller film stars the iconic Joaquin Phoenix. Graham Hess is a former Episcopal priest from rural Pennsylvania. He has 2 children, Morgan and Bo, and Merrill, his brother. Graham notices large crop circles in his cornfields. Graham and his family notice unknown figures in their field and experience strange happenings. The alien invasion starts globally. Graham and his family secure themselves inside their house. The radio announces the aliens have abruptly left Earth. However, an alien breaks into the house. It takes Morgan hostage and sprays a toxic gas on him. The family battles and kills the alien, exploiting its only weakness, water. It, 2017. It is an American supernatural horror film released in 2017 based on Stephen King's fictional novel. This cult film showcases a clown, Pennywise the Dancing Clown, as the central character and also the one that will haunt you at night. After Bill's 6-year-old brother Georgie suddenly disappears, Bill attempts to find him. His friends join him and more. Together, they call themselves the Losers Club. Each of them experiences frightening manifestations of a malicious clown. They also realize that the same entity is stalking them. The group refers to this entity as It. The group also finds out that It represents their extreme fears. The entity wakes up every 27 years, feeds on the town's children, and then goes into hibernation. It uses the town's sewer lines to move around. All these sewer lines connect to an old stone well under an abandoned house. Bill and his friends fight It by overcoming their worst fears. Bill finally accepts his brother's death. They force Pennywise to retreat deeper into the sewers, but can't kill it. This widely popular movie is worth watching for Pennywise's terror. A Quiet Place, 2018. This 2018 released American horror sci-fi thriller film is next on our list. Blind, extraterrestrial creatures with unique hypersensitive hearing abilities destroy the majority of Earth's population. A couple, Lee and Evelyn, and their children, the Abbott family, communicate using sign language to survive and stay out of these creatures' radar. On day 89, the creatures kill the couple's son Bo when his toy makes a sound. The family struggles to survive in complete silence since even a bare whisper can bring the creature's attention to them. Amidst the terrifying situation, Evelyn gives birth to a baby boy. In his attempts to protect his children, Lee sacrifices his life, and Evelyn takes charge of keeping her children out of danger. The movie is praised not only for its execution and concept, but also for its portrayal of bravery, selflessness, and love for the family. Under the Skin, 2014. Based on Michael Faber's novel, Under the Skin is a sci-fi film released in 2014. In Glasgow, a woman allures men. She takes one of the men to a rundown house. The man undresses and follows the woman into a void, but gets immersed in a liquid abyss. The beautiful woman is an alien entity who lives in Scotland and seduces lonely men. She takes these men into a mysterious black void. Their bodies are consumed while their insides are harvested. A motorcyclist accompanies the woman, monitors her work, and cleans all the evidence of her crimes. While roaming into the wilderness, she finds a commercial logger trying to molest her. She struggles, but in her attempts, the man tears her skin. Her featureless alien body is revealed. The woman flees from her skin and the man burns her alive. Scarlett Johansson was praised for her impressive performance in the film. Marvelous verdict. So these were our 20 picks for the must-see movies with unique and unforgettable monsters. Most of these monsters are extraterrestrial creatures that are menacing and barbaric. They will keep you awake at night and force you to look over your shoulder during the day. We hope you enjoy our content. Let us know your favorite pick from the list, and we'll see you in the next one. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe, and thanks everyone.